Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Gollum Golf. Welcome to another episode of Let's Play Wave Race 64. Back where we left off, we had just finished the normal difficulty, and now we're going to move on to the harder difficulty. So a new track being offered, it's known as Twilight City, and as well as some different obstacles being added in some of the tracks, as well as more difficult racers as far as opponents go. Now, I didn't get into this last time, but what you want to do is you want to customize your racer. I always go with our Hayami, or whatever his name is. I've been racing with him since I was a kid. And you want to go to customize, and you want to make the handling heavy, the engine on the dash, and the grip at tight. That'll make it the easiest for you to maneuver around, as well as not fall off the jet ski if you do hit something. Now, normally there are two different ways that you can fall. One way is you can do a half fall, which you can still hang on to the jet ski but lose your footing. The other way is you can completely fall off the jet ski, in which case it is a huge time loss because the other racers will most likely pass you if it's on a harder difficulty. And as you can see, I'm encountering some resistance. There are a lot of the opponents that harder racing style. And I'm about 2.5 seconds ahead. And if you notice, they have added a few more of the gates to drive around, or to race around, and they've added some pylons, or I don't know if you could call those mines, anchors, buoys, metal spike things in the water. If you hit those sometimes head on, you half fall off. If you hit them going full speed and directly, you will fall off completely. So it's best to stay clear of those things. You won't see too many of them, but they are present in some of the later tracks, considering Twilight City will be coming up soon. And I do apologize for the keystrokes. The microphone, my microphone is picking up on the keystrokes whenever I make turns. It's kind of distracting. There's really no way around it currently that I know of. Another thing, people who are starting out racing in Wave Race, if you're just now starting to play this game, okay, that was cheeky. If you're just now starting to play this game, you may experience some times when you don't make it past a race. If you are in one of the later races and you come in fourth, it's not the end of the world. If you're in one of the first couple of races and you come in last, it will kick you out because you have to win the championships to proceed, or you basically can't finish. So you can't come in anything other than first in the end. So this is actually the first time that I think in this Let's Play that we've seen other racers ahead of me, which that's just because I made some cheeky some tricks off this ramp here. But you know. And if this is your first time playing this game, it is an older game, but if you enjoy the game by watching it and you want to try it out, grab yourself an emulator and play it. Don't expect to win every race, especially on the harder difficulties. The expert difficulty is very difficult the first time you run through it. And the reverse is kind of it's kind of arbitrary. It wasn't really made for reverse, and I guess we'll get to that when we get to the reverse course difficulty. But the biggest difference you'll notice in the hard difficulty is that there are more gates to try and drive through. and the enemy, or not the enemy, but your opponent racing ability has been increased. Now here, the gates are sort of arranged in a slalom, and you have to drive through these wooden posts that stick out of the ground. In the normal difficulty, it's best if you try and find a route through those, because if you're used to driving around them in the normal difficulty, and you come to the hard difficulty, and then you have to drive through them to hit a gate, it can be difficult. And that slalom there isn't even the hardest slalom on this course. The expert slalom difficulty for that section is very difficult. Sometimes you have to let off the throttle and kind of coast through there, and you have to turn very sharp. This is one of the most beautiful courses after the fog clears, because the water graphics are very nice. They mirror what's above the water level very nicely. I do like how they incorporated the water graphics and water textures in this game. It's very nice for the time period. And I do have a bit of a cold, so my voice isn't, completely what it should be. 3, 2, 1. Okay, as you'll see on Green Fortress, it is a gamble to try and jump over that retaining wall at the start. Most of the time, if you first start the race, you can get over it, but if you don't, you have to drive around, and on harder difficulties, it can cost you the race. So coming up on the second lap here, we're going to witness our first event happening in the course. And as I mentioned earlier, in the harder difficulties, hard and above, the drawbridge, or whatever this thing is right here, will actually go up so that you can drive through the shortcut here. And I set a new record. Cool. And you can see just how much of a difference, 33 seconds for the first lap and 25 seconds for the second lap, and that was taking the shortcut. So 8 seconds, it's actually closer to 7, but like 7.5 seconds. 7.5 seconds between laps just for taking a shortcut as opposed to not taking it. In a harder difficulty, you would lose the race if you didn't take that shortcut. And I almost got beaten by, I think the pink racer, or this the woman racer, her name's Amy Stewart, I think. Amy Stewart, yeah, and Dave Mariner as M. Jeter. I don't know R. Hayami's first name. Amy Stewart and Dave Mariner are the names. M. Jeter, I think. I remember when I was a kid, I changed the racers' names. I changed M. Jeter's name to M. Cheater because I thought that he won too many races because he beat me. So I thought he was a cheater. But yeah, as we notice on Port Blue here, we have this shortcut come up. And if you're playing with a controller other than an N64 controller, or well, the keyboard wasn't too bad there, but it is very difficult to maneuver through there. Also, in the next difficulty, the large opening through there is blocked off, forcing you to take this shortcut. I don't see how you would make it to the hard difficulty without taking this shortcut, or the expert difficulty without taking the shortcut, because it is kind of crucial to win the race. It's such a time loss if you don't take the shortcut. I'm surprised I haven't set a course record here. I mean, I've played it before, but I was playing with a controller back then. I don't think I'm maneuvering through these shortcuts very well. Ah, that one was tight. I'm going to set the record this time. Calling it. New record. Oh, wow. I knocked off more than a second. That still didn't set a new record. No, I did. What? It's blinking red. That doesn't make sense. Oh, I get it. It's probably for that opening lap. It's probably a new record for that first lap, because they take into account the lap differences, because obviously the first lap is going to be slower than the second one, because you have to start at 0 on the first lap. So this is Twilight City. Incredible course. It's my favorite course. The music behind it embodies the course so much. And as you can see, some of those metal pylons below us, if you take these ramps, you won't hit them. Also, in the harder difficulties, the wave patterns tend to get a little more choppy. I think you might see that when we get to Southern Island here on the next course. In the hard and expert, I think it's hard and expert, not just expert, but the waves on Southern Island get really choppy in some sections, and they're very hard to maneuver because you're constantly getting thrown around by the waves. It is really nice to see the game looking this good, as I am playing it on an emulator, and I have a couple of features turned up, you know, the anisotropic filtering, anti-aliasing, all of that good stuff, as well as, you know, the texture filtering. It does look very nice. I just hope that my recording device is catching all of this this beautiful scenery for a Nintendo 64 game. Shall I go for a cheeky double trick? Yes. So we won. We didn't set any records. Obviously, on the third lap, I was being a bit cheeky and going for some barrel rolls. But we did set a new lap record on the first lap, so that's cool. And we're back at Southern Island.
Southern Island.
This is the final round. So this time in these races, I find I'm getting a bit more frequency on the max power right off the start. I think I'm paying a bit more attention. And as you can see now, these waves are getting huge on this part of Southern Island. It is possible to take that ramp and to dive under the pier that sticks out on that last turn of Southern Island, but again, it's like Marine Fortress. It's a gamble. If you hit it correctly and go under, it could be a new lap record for the first lap, but if you don't, it's going to be a huge loss in time, and it may cost you the race. Now, on each of the next laps, the second and third lap, the water level goes down so that you can drive around it. So you can only really get a time reduction on the first lap. I can't believe I'm about to win this race if I don't do something stupid. Whoa! No! Come back here. Okay, I won. That's actually very surprising. I thought I would at least lose one race in the hard difficulty. I can guarantee you I will lose some races in expert and reverse. Even using the keyboard controls, they're just too sketchy to try and get all first place. But right now my record is perfect. I haven't missed any gates, except for the one that I missed on purpose, just to show you guys what would happen if you missed one, how it would affect your power meter. And here we are at the winner's podium again. Our Hayami comes in first, Dave Mariner comes in second, and M. Cheater comes in third.
You're the champion! Congratulations!
And as you can see through my course times here, I did set a couple of new records. I think maybe they might show up because these are total lap times. Yes, they're blinking new. So I set 2 new records. As well as had a perfect score for this difficulty. And then we get to move up to the next class. Alright guys, so that'll do it for this episode of Let's Play Wave Race 64. I hope you had a good time watching. I sure had fun playing. I'll see you guys next time for the 3rd installment in this Let's Play series, where we're going to tackle the Expert difficulty, and going to be going for gold, winning every single race in first place. I doubt that's going to happen though, but we're certainly going to try. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.